Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. If you are watching, please throw a comment in the chat. Let me know how it's going. Let me know what you're up to. If you are listening, and I know it just started, so everyone's probably not rolled in here just yet, but if you are doing the direct to agent model, I'm curious your thoughts, how it's going. Savannah is on our team. She makes calls to agents. She does a really awesome job. She is killing it right now. Hopefully, I know for sure off the top of my head, we have one contract that I think that we'll be getting this week, so that's exciting. One day I'm going to make Savannah get up here and make some calls with me. I think y'all could gain some value from her. Yay. Direct to agent, I'll just talk about it for a little bit while I'm giving it a few minutes before I start making some phone calls to agents. I chose just a random market. I've been doing that every other Wednesday, choosing just a random market that I usually don't call in and just finding some low equity listings and making some calls just so you guys can see how initial calls go. I don't do a lot of initial calls day in and day out. A lot of my calls are follow-up calls, but on here, I think I've realized that people want to see the initial call more so than the follow-up call. So I'll be doing a lot of that today, and they're all direct to agent. I had an interesting phone call. Me too, Savannah. Hopefully we get a couple more contracts where I cannot believe September is almost over. It's mind-blowing, honestly. This year has gone by so fast. So much has changed. So much has happened. September 20th. It's nuts. But yeah, hopefully we can knock out a few more contracts this month. That would be great. I had an interesting phone call, and I think these happen often, but this one was a more obvious one, I guess I'd say. The agent just solely said the sellers are not interested because they don't understand it, right? And she straight up said that she didn't understand it, and there wasn't really any want or motivation to try to understand it, to try to ask questions, any of that. It was just kind of, oh, we don't get it, not interested, thanks, I'm moving on. And, I think that's an unfortunate dilemma going on just in the industry with real estate agents not wanting to be open to it or not even trying to understand it. It's hard for me to get that because I am definitely an opposite personality, but there are a lot of agents that just don't care to even hear it out. I think that it's just one of those things that, hey, I know how to do my job this way. I know these things. If it's not that, I don't care to hear it. I don't care to, try to wrap my brain around it. I'm sure a lot of it is I don't want to look like a dummy in front of my clients. You're supposed to be the licensed expert. So I think it's hard to admit that you don't know something. Try to backpedal into something. So, she straight up said, I can't sell them on something that I don't even understand, which is I totally get. So, specifically with that one, I was just pushing for a group call. I understand where you're coming from. I understand that you're saying no because you don't get it. Instead of me trying to explain it to you and relying on you to go back and reiterate what I just told you to the sellers in the right manner, I don't like doing that because it usually never works out like that. So I just said, hey, let's just try to set up a group call with you and the sellers, and I can go through the offer, explain everything. So then they can at least make an educated decision, right? Instead of just making a decision because, oh, I don't know, I don't understand it, so no. So I always word it like that, and let's have your sellers make an educated decision. I hardly ever get pushback on that because I think it's pretty hard for someone to be like, oh, no, I don't want them to be educated, you know? So it's one of those things that they are kind of forced to just agree with. So anyway, it's an interesting thing. It can be a frustrating thing for people that do direct to agent all day, every day. I see a lot of people get a little worn out with agents not wanting to hear us out. I do think that things are changing a little bit. I mean, I think that agents are getting so many more calls now and maybe somewhat being properly educated on creative finance now, which is a great thing. But it can also, I think that there's pros and cons in the sense of they could be educated wrongly, or maybe they've been talking to buyers that are not as credible and say things to make the agent feel like this is kind of sketchy. You know, I get that a lot. I had a call yesterday with an agent where she was like, we sent a subject to offer. She was open to it. She said, hey, I have another offer that's the same, except for they are offering more money. But those buyers are a little sketchy to me. And she didn't really go into details of why they're sketchy. You know, I think that a lot of times agents say sketchy just because maybe the person on the other end is not sounding confident, not knowing how to explain things. So it just makes the agent feel like the transaction itself is, you know, something that maybe they shouldn't trust. So yeah, lots of interesting stuff. If you do direct to agent, put a comment in the chat. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you agree, disagree, what insights you have. It's an interesting topic for sure. And I think it grows more interesting the more people that are, you know, doing the direct agent model and calling on them every day. Let me, before I start making calls, if you guys ever need any help with, I'm going to put a couple links in the chat. If you ever need help with deals, if you need help structuring deals, if you need help, you know, underwriting in general, you need help drafting an offer, you need help with the follow-up and the closing of the seller or agent, you need help with dispoing a deal that you already have under contract, we would love to squat up and work with you. Here's this link to submit any deals that you need help with. We can work on them together, JV, and try to get that deal closed. And if you are a buyer for cash or creative deals, our team does work cash and creative deals, not just creative deals. So if you have a cash deal, I'd love to help you on that as well. This link is to be added to our buyers list. I think we have like 13 deals in escrow right now, something like that. Probably half are assigned, half are not. So if you're looking for some deals, here's the buyer's link. There was something else I was going to put, and I just forgot what I was going to put in here. Also, if you're looking for Gator lending, I want to become a more active Gator lender. So if you have those deals, hit me up. Instagram's probably the best way to get a hold of me, and we can chat about what you got going on. Okay. Okay. Last time I kind of like broke down what the equity was and stuff before I made the calls, but honestly, I didn't write any of that down. So I'll just kind of give what I got. I think this one only had like two or three grand of equity, something like that. Um, it's been on the market for 44 days. Sorry, my dog's annoying. I didn't get to lock her out. I usually lock her out because she likes to bark. So it's been on the market 44 days, hardly any equity. It's in pretty decent condition. I don't think you'd really need to do anything to it if you were to keep it as a rental. Really, really cute place. Okay, let's see. The gamble you take when you call on out of state markets is the agent going to answer. Okay, let's see if this agent will answer me. Oh, I don't even know if this is the agent's number. This might be the office number, but let me look at batch leads real quick and see if it has the actual agent's number. Because I'd rather call that. Although typically when you call the office number, they'll just either give you the agent's number. Yes! Make some calls. I don't know why she acts like she's scared. She knows she's a boss on the phone. Don't leave me so lonely up here. Let's see. Is that the same phone? I think it is. Oh yeah. Okay, let's just see if this is the agent's number. I have a microphone now, so hopefully y'all can hear it better, hear the calls better. Let me know in the comments. Seriously, come on, Savannah. I'm about to send you a link and you're just gonna be forced to get up here. You don't have to stay up here long, like make 2 or 3 calls. Get out of your shell. Hey Abraham, you too. You need to get your booty up here. Make some calls so we can get a deal done. It's always funner when you're doing it together, guys. Sometimes I feel like I'm like talking to myself on these lives, so I like when there are people in the comments, there are people that get up here with me.
Hi, Shitty.
Hey, this is Jade calling about the listing on Hilldale Street.
Hi.
Is that one still available?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I was looking for a rental in the area and figured I would give you a call on this one. Just curious. I'm looking at it on Zillow. Is there anything else you could tell me about it that maybe it's just not on here?
Nothing that I know of really. The third bedroom right now is kind of converted to like a multi-use kind of storage room.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay. Is this currently rented out or is it owner occupied?
It's owner occupied.
Okay. There's not an HOA, is there?
No.
Okay, so probably no rental restrictions.
Yeah, none there.
Okay. Do you know of any repairs that are needed?
No, it's in pretty good shape.
Okay. Awesome. Do you have an idea of what maybe I could rent it out for just as is right now?
I'm not sure with that market, to be completely honest.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Have you guys had an offer so far?
We've got a couple. Nothing great.
Okay. All right. I saw that did they just buy it last year?
Yeah. They got a job, so they got to leave.
Oh, gotcha. Just getting relocated.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm assuming since they bought it around the same price, they probably don't have a ton of wiggle room.
Yeah, not a crazy amount, but they do have some.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we like to buy some cash, but I think that we'd probably be lower because we usually try to get them at a discount. We had one that was kind of similar. I think they owned it for like 9 months and had to move because they were getting deployed in the military. And so instead of, giving them a cash offer where they were losing some money, we just offered to take over their loan and pay their realtor fees, pay their closing cost, and put some cash in their pocket. You think that might be helpful to the seller?
We've looked at a few of those already and didn't work for their situation.
Oh, okay. What about it didn't work for them?
They're not moving too far away. They're actually moving within a 100-mile radius.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can't qualify for their next purchase, because they have to go FHA on their next purchase if it's within 100 miles.
Got it. Okay. And they don't want to look into doing any other loan program?
They don't qualify for other loans.
Okay. Gotcha. So the FHA problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, usually we're able to, structure paperwork a certain way, but I totally get that some of those rules you just can't get over. Do you have any other listings right now that I could take a look at?
No, actually everything I have is slowly going under contract, so nothing right now.
Okay. All right. Well, if anything changes this one, please keep my number and reach out. Or if you have any other listings that are kind of similar, I'm actively looking.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Okay. So that, all right, Simeon, I'll let you off the hook this time. Not next time though. So that agent, you could tell he wasn't super friendly. He didn't really care to stay on the phone. He was kind of trying to just like short answers, brushing me off, didn't really care to have a deep conversation about anything. And I think that he is right about that. I do want to double check that, but I think he is right with the FHA loans when you're using another, because FHA is used for primary residences. So buying another one within 100 miles, that is a rule. You have to be over. So if it was like 105 miles, they could probably get another FHA loan. But he's probably right that that is a hard stop on that, unfortunately. And, they've already seemed like they've gone through the motions with subject to offers before to see if it would work. That's unfortunate. He did say they had some wiggle room. I really don't think that they have any wiggle room. But anyway, there's some, rules. If they were able to qualify for a conventional loan, then it wouldn't be any biggie. But, they're not qualifying, I'm assuming, for probably credit reasons or income. Interest rates are usually a little higher on conventional loans. So we'll scratch that one. I'm going to go ahead and keep that one and follow up with him because, they might change their mind and say, you know what, we'll just rent because we got to get those things sold. Okay. Okay, I think this one is only been on the market for 22 days. I don't think that there's much equity in this one either because it's almost to the day it sold a year ago for, looks like for only like a couple grand less than what it's listed at now. So they probably don't have a ton of wiggle room. With the ones no, for real though. Like, just go that extra mile or two. It ain't gonna kill you. Um, that's funny. I might send an offer to that agent and just be like, hey, I think that they can move 105 miles away. Anyway, so this one, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so a lot of people don't like to call on houses that have only been on the market for a short time. We do. So even if they've hit the market, that week, the thought process behind it is, they might not be as open to it because they may not be as motivated yet. They haven't gone through the motions. They haven't gone through 100 showings yet. So they maybe are not as motivated to have someone just take over their payments as they would be, 100 days in when they've had a million showings on the property and had, a bunch of offers that are low ball and this, and that. But the thought process behind why we do still call on those is because even though we still send the offer too, right? So the whole purpose is let me build rapport with that agent. Let me be one of the first to bring this to their attention, let them know who I am, what I'm doing, and send them an offer. And as that listing sits, I'm continuously following up every 2 weeks. And when they do get motivated enough and when they are open to a creative solution, then who are they going to think of? They're going to think of the person that called them first, brought it to their attention first, and has been following up with them consistently for every 2 or 3 weeks, right? So we do still call on those regardless of the days on market for mostly building rapport and having first dibs type of thing. So this one is pretty fresh, but I'm going to go ahead and call on it. There's 2 listing agents on this, so we're just going to take a guess on which one's the head honcho.
Hello, Nate Shaw here.
Not him. On to the next guy. Let's call Joe. 323. Okay.
Hello, it's Joe.
Hey Joe, my name's Jade. I was calling about the listing on North 3000.
Yeah, okay.
Is that one still available?
Let's see here, North 3000.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on 1 second. Let me just pull over real quick.
Sure.
I'm pretty. That's one of the ones that my business partners are handling directly.
Okay.
So let me just pull over real quick and see if I can pull it up for you real quick.
Sure.
So I can answer your questions. Okay. Hang on.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. Hang on 1 second.
No problem.
The software always takes longer when you're waiting, right?
Every time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the one you're calling on.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it from a rental standpoint and just kind of wanted to give you guys a call and, get your opinion on it as the neighborhood and just as a rental in general.
Okay. Meaning you would like to purchase it, then rent it out?
That's right.
Is that kind of, okay. So you're kind of an investor then?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And do you have other rentals?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, cool. All right. The only reason why I ask is because it's a lot easier to talk to someone that's not new to the game than it is someone that is new to the game.
Oh, absolutely, right? Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, so basically, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,608 square feet. My guess is your rents are going to come in, and you can, since you're in the business, you can tell me whether or not you think I'm right. Probably what, 1,800 to 2,000 $2,000 a month. Are you thinking that's all right?
Yeah, and I was really curious. I know there's an HOA. Are there any rental restrictions? I know that sometimes they can be a little weird about rentals.
Yeah, no, I get you. Hang on one sec. It should say that right here. Gosh, I don't think Imperfect point that there is.
Okay.
But at the same time, let me see if I can verify that. On my phone, it looks just a tiny bit different than it does on the computer, so just bear with me for a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. It does say it's rentable,
Okay.
that sort of thing. And it says rental restrictions may apply. What that means is, on the whole, the community is rentable. So I guess we'd probably have to make a couple phone calls, but I think we can safely assume that is rentable.
Sure. Okay. So I'm assuming that it's owner occupied right now then, right?
It is, absolutely. You bet.
Okay. Got it. Do you know of anything that needs to be repaired? I mean, the pictures look pretty good, but just anything maybe I can't tell from the pictures?
I am not aware of anything that, is just being left undone.
Sure.
I think with any property that's a few years old, there might be a weather stripping or a touch-up paint here and there, but
yeah.
But in terms of anything blatantly undone and unrepaired, I'm not aware of anything at all.
Okay. I noticed that on Zillow showed me they just bought it a year ago. Do you know why they're moving?
I do. It's a job transfer. So that's the only reason why they're moving is just a job opportunity out of state.
Got it. Okay. Do you know if they've had any offers on it so far?
Not aware of any. There again, my business partner Nate is the primary on this one, so it's possible that he could have had a conversation I'm not aware of, but
sure.
It's not showing pending or under contract on our big board, which means it's still available.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm assuming since they just bought it not that long ago, they probably don't have a ton of wiggle room on that price. Would you say that's probably right?
I know for a fact that is correct. Okay. I mean, I want to sell, but I also feel like they're in a position, all we can do is present offers and we'll let sellers make decisions. You know what I mean? I don't know what the bottom line is, but but your assessment is correct in that they just barely bought it. And so therefore there's probably not a ton of equity.
Sure. Okay. All right. What I'm thinking is we did a deal last month that was very similar. I think they owned it for around 9 months. And so our cash offer had them negative at closing. So instead of paying cash for it, we just took over their mortgage and paid their realtor fees, paid their closing cost, and put some cash in their pocket to move. Do you think that's something worth sending over?
So sorry, I missed you for that last little bit. So what I heard you say is that the last one you did, you just assumed the note and then gave them some walking money, correct? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we didn't quite assume it. We just left the note in place and took over payments and then.
Yeah. No, I got you. I mean, I've done the same thing. Basically it's an all-inclusive trust deed. You're just wrapping the note.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've done that myself a time or two for sure. Yeah. So I think that works okay in some cases where they don't need to buy another house right away, but obviously in some cases it doesn't work well because they need that credit. They need it off their credit to purchase something else. So I'd probably have to talk to Nate a little bit about that, about their particular situation in terms of what they plan to do when they move.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the one we did last month, actually, they bought immediately. So just depending on when they want to buy, there's a certain way we can structure the documents to make sure that they can go get qualified again. So yeah, if that's something they're wanting to do, we can definitely work with it.
Okay, sounds good. Well, let me do this then. Let me make a note and I'll talk to Nate. You said your name is Jade. What's your last name?
It's Vaughn, Vaughn.
Vaughn, say that again. Vaughn.
Ghn.
Okay.
If you don't mind texting me your email, I'll just go ahead and work up an offer and send it over so you guys at least have something to refer to and take a look at.
Oh, that sounds just fine. Sounds good. I'll do that right away, and then we'll just kind of get it in front of them, and we'll see what makes sense. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jade. See ya.
Thanks. Bye. Okay. That was a decent call. I personally don't think it's always super efficient to talk to the agent that's not doing. I mean, they're obviously business partners, which is a good thing. Like they're on the same team, they work listings together, but he's not the one that's direct to the seller, which I think can cause an additional break in conversation. I would have preferred to just talk to his business partner that knows the sellers and that's going to be presenting the offer to the sellers most likely. I doubt that this guy is going to be the one presenting it. So, typically I probably would have been like, let me just talk to, just have so and so give me a call. I didn't, just for the purpose of this live, to have the conversation. He seems like a pretty educated agent and seems like he's done some investments himself, so maybe it'll work out for the better. I'm not sure, but typically I don't like to, go to the other agents that are not the listing agent. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. What is going on in this house? Oh. So this one, real cute house. Let's see whenever it was sold last. Again, it was sold about a year ago for only $5,000 high, $5,000 less than what it's listed for now. So probably negative equity. It was built in 2018. It looks like maybe when it was built, it came with an unfinished basement, and it looks like maybe they started trying to finish the basement. You can definitely tell there's been some drywall work going on that's not completed. So that's interesting. Let's see. Okay. Lead follow-up day. Yeah. What's your system like, Dana? Do you just have it all in like Google Sheets and you just go through one by one and give them calls, or what's your typical follow-up days look like? I'm curious. I just started this new system I'm really liking. So I just have all my offers that we've sent in Google Sheets. I have a different tab for each month. It's all color coded. I also code them by, dead, cold, warm, hot leads. And I would basically just, I think every week, maybe every other week, I don't know. I would just go through sheets and update it. Is this one pending? Is this still active? Did this one expire? And one by one, constantly and independently go and email the agents or text the agents or call the agents, depending on what the lead was. And, it's just super time consuming, especially when, oh my gosh, so I think I started the sheet back in May. So from May until September, I mean, hundreds of leads at this point. And, for a while I was doing really good at that. And then there's just so many that my goal was to follow up, every 2 weeks on leads that are cold. And it was just starting to fall behind, whereas more like at once a month. And that's not quick enough to me. And so, I'm like, okay, we gotta figure out something here. REI reply. Okay. I like that. I like the automated text. I think we talked about doing REI reply, but I didn't really like that because like I have my own system going in Google Sheets already. Like I'm just used to that. I have a flow going. So then to take all that data and then throw it into REI Reply and keep up with making sure that data gets imported into REI Reply, it just seemed like too much to me. So I started using Mail Meteor, which if you guys were on Myron's live yesterday, he talked about how his new system uses Mail Meteor. I'm using Mail Meteor a little differently, as in I'm using it for follow-ups. So it's super cool. It integrates with Google Sheets and you can automate emails. So like for example, I just last month in August, we sent out 160 offers and just went through, updated everything, had everything color coded that were either agents that had ghosted us or agents that said not interested. And so I could filter that in Google Sheets, and then I could filter that in Google Sheets and then open Mail Meteor and set up a follow-up campaign. And it's you can put however many emails you want in there. So I think I've so far like set out 5 or 6 email chains, and they go out every 15 days if they don't reply. So if they've replied, then it automatically stops the campaign. Not sure how I feel about that, but I'll tell you how I get around making sure that I keep following up with them anyway. So every 15 days, I emails them with templates that I've set up in there. And then it also, if I go to my Google Sheets, it keeps track. It tells me which ones are scheduled, which ones have already been sent, the open rate. I forget what else, but it tells you like analytics about the follow up, the campaigns. So really cool. I've set those up for all previous months now. So I'll probably do that like every new month now, like set it up for so like next, I think it's October. I'll set it up for September. I don't know. To me, like I couldn't set it up right now. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out, but I think that once a new month comes, I'll then add the previous month to a campaign drip and just keep doing it like that. But it's been really time saving. And then, so what I do for agents that respond, and really I do this for almost every email I send now, but especially for the ones that are like, oh, not interested, I have this does cost money. Both of these things cost money, but in my opinion, 100% worth it. I subscribe to Boomerang for Gmail. I think it's like $14 a month or something, but it lets you set reminders, send laters, a whole bunch of different stuff. So essentially, for an example, send out a campaign. Hey, are you still interested, or would you like to reconsider our offer? Agent emails back and says, no, don't want to reconsider. I say, okay, thank you. Let me know if anything changes. And then I hit remind me later, or I do remind me in 2 weeks. After 2 weeks is here, as soon as I get into my Gmail account, that email is going to be at the top of my email now. Say, hey, this email's back, time to follow up. And then I can follow up again. So I literally use Boomerang on almost every single email I send now because it is really helpful. And so I don't forget things. I don't forget to follow up. I don't go too long without following up. And yeah, it's just game changer. I do 3, 7, 14, 30 day and move to 30 day if it hasn't closed by then. Faster if it needs. But I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. REI Reply. Systems, I mean, I think automated systems, if you really, because the game is follow up at the end of the day. A lot of our deals come from follow up. Like, for example, I made my whole Mail Meteor set up my campaign for yesterday morning. I set it out like 7:30 in the morning and got a call like an hour or two later. Hey, I want to reconsider. I want to look at your offer again. And this agent was like ready to go. So, while a lot of people still say no without even asking their client or anything again, there are times where you followed up at just the right moment and they're ready to make a move. So I think 2 weeks is just a good rule of thumb for cold leads. Obviously, a lot sooner for warm or hot leads, but every 15 days is a good steady flow, even though I get a lot of agents that are like, take me off your list. So, moral of the story, go get Mail Meteor, go get Boomerang for Gmail, and it'll change your follow-up game. Yeah. It is. Timing is a lot. I'm trying to think of an example. I mean, there's just so many examples, but I mean, like the one I just gave, she told me no a month or two ago, and now she's like, oh, I'm ready to go, right? It's just that pain. The pain has added up. They've gone through showings after showings and lowball offers, and maybe they're losing money and it's just getting worse because they're having to lower the list price, this and that. So timing is everything. This is a good one. Actually, I want to make a video about this because it's so interesting. But so this deal, literally like a year ago, one of our partners had called on it, and it was listed with an agent at the time. I think that the agent kind of talked down on creative and, made the seller feel bad about it, whatever. So didn't sell on the market, decided to rent it out. They moved out of state and they're losing money on the rental. I forgot how much, like a couple hundred a month or something like that. And, a few months later, maybe like 6 months later, 8 months later, something like that, I call the seller and, sure enough, they're ready to go. They're tired of losing money. They don't want to be a landlord. They don't like their renters. They don't like the property manager. They don't live here. They don't care about this house anymore. And they're ready to make a deal happen, right? So I know that's a long time frame to follow up, but it really does pay off. And yeah, Dana's right. Timing is everything with creative and even with cash. I mean, a lot of times, you get good wholesale deals because cash wholesale deals because the timing, right? They need to sell it now, or they've sat on the market for 6 months and can't get the price they want. And they're just like, whatever, I'll take 50 grand less just to get this done, So follow up is everything. And if you can get it automated, all the better. Go get you an integrator in your life. Okay, let's call on this one.
Hi, you've reached Melody Retrieve.
Okay, straight to the voicemail. Okay, so this one has been on the market for 128 days. This house looks interesting. But they are also marketing an assumable loan at 3.25% interest rate or rent to own. So they've already looked into, I bet you they've already had Subto offers, and they're like, let's go see if this loan is assumable. Let's see when it sold. Okay, so this sold in 2021. They listed it 2 years later. It's been on the market since May.
435.
Let's double dial.
Four, three, five.
Well, I think I have one more option to call, but I'm out of houses that I've saved for today. Let's see. A lot of these houses have like unfinished basements that look like they're half worked on. That's interesting. This is a little cutie though. Let's see. This one's been on the market for 34 days. They are also marketing an FHA assumable loan with a low rate. They didn't specify what that rate was on this one. They originally bought this May of 2022, so they've owned it a little bit over a year. And it looks like they didn't buy it like 25 grand less than what it's listed for, so low equity. Okay, sorry. Let's give. I hope this is the number.
Hello, this is Sherry.
Hey, my name's Jade. I was calling about the listing on Monroe Boulevard.
Yes, what questions you have?
Yeah, I was looking at that one as a rental, and I just wanted to give you a call and see if you had any thoughts about that or about the neighborhood and how you think it would do as a rental.
As far as the rentals in that area, would be great. I don't know if the seller would be interested in renting it. Are you looking to buy it and rent it?
Right. Looking to buy it.
Okay, yeah. So it is a very high rental area. I do know there's a lot of people that do rent in the area. I know I've had a lot of people call me in regards to assuming that loan that's an option on the house and then turning it into a rental. Just hasn't fortified in an offer yet. I mean, it is a nicer, like it's closer to the mountainside, like the east side of Ogden, not far from Mountain Road. So as far as rentals, I would say that it has. I can't say for certain that I know who rents in there, but I just know that that area has been rented. So if you put in the zip code 84404 for rentals, you'll probably see quite a bit in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Off of like with like presidents' names.
Yeah.
We got a Jackson. We got
Okay.
So this one's on Monroe. So if you just look the other presidents, they're in the area.
Yeah,
So
that's helpful. I saw that it just sold a little over a year ago. Are they just up?
Yeah, they're just moving on to something different. So they're headed out and they're just looking to sell at this point. So yep, I helped them buy the house and now they're moving to something different. So
got it. Okay.
Things change.
Yes. So they're just upgrading houses. They're not necessarily relocating.
Part of the reason, I guess, why the assumable portion would be great is because it doesn't have a higher amount, like as far as a payoff amount. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of assumptions where they, are asking for, $700,000 for the home, but the payoff is $300,000. Not everybody's got $400,000 just sitting around, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So this one's a little bit in a different situation to where there's not much of a difference between the purchase price and the loan amount. You know what I mean? So it's making it a little bit easier for those that want to jump in and take over the payments.
Sure, yeah. So you've had a lot of people ask you about that, but no one's actually submitted an offer to take over the mortgage?
No one's actually put an offer. We've had a lot of seller financing type of situations where they just want to take over or like keep us on the loan and they take over the payments. But the owners, I believe, want to just sell it outright if we can. So they're not interested in the seller financing.
Is it mostly a concern about DTI?
What do you mean by that?
By like qualifying for another loan?
Oh,
is that
sure. I'm not exactly certain the reasons why there. It's just they would rather just be able to move on and have that next to them. So yeah, it could be one of the reasons they haven't mentioned that part to me though.
Got it. Yeah, that's usually how we buy a lot of ours. We don't actually apply to assume them because this is a business for us and we operate out of an LLC. So you can't apply to assume in an LLC. So we typically just leave the mortgages in place and then take over ownership in our LLC. I can definitely send you over an offer so you guys can see what that looks like.
Is it a seller financing type of situation now?
Not seller financing, no.
Okay. So what kind of a offer would it be then? Is it just a straight Rep C type of situation or something different?
No, so it would be almost like assuming, but the mortgage would just stay in place. I haven't ran numbers, so I can't tell you what that would look like yet, but I can do that and send you it over.
I can definitely present it to the sellers, but if it's something of a creative finance type of thing, I don't know how much, because their name would still be associated with it, right?
It would be on the mortgage, yes, ma'am.
Their names would stay on the mortgage.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how much they would be interested in it. I can always present it, but I don't know what because in the past they haven't been interested in that.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I hear that a lot. I think a lot of it's just they don't have, the answers to their questions. So I'd be more than happy to, walk you guys through it and make sure for at least they know what's going on and can make that educated decision.
Well, I'm happy to present it to them.
Okay, awesome. Do you mind texting me over your email address?
Sure. Yep.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, exactly, Dana, exactly. She believes, right? So they've declined offers and she literally said like, oh, I don't know why it doesn't work for them. Oh, they didn't tell me why. Like she didn't ask any follow-up questions that she probably forwarded the offer to or misspoke and just verbally gave them some offer and they were like, I don't know what this is. No. And she's like, oh, no, they don't want to do this, right? Like, she's not asking any follow-up questions. She doesn't really know. She didn't know what I meant by DTI, which is interesting. So maybe they're not buying another house. She didn't seem to really say much about that at all. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like she really knows a whole lot about what's going on with it, but she did just send me her email. So what I'll do is send over an offer and try to maybe get on a 3-way call with them and help her present it type of thing, or, at least try to work through some questions and get her to open up a little bit more about it. But yeah, that's the thing. A lot of these agents are kind of what I talked about at the beginning of this is like, they just don't care to explore. They don't care to understand why to know. They don't care to understand, why it does or doesn't work for their client. And I find it interesting because like we're offering to pay them. So you think that they'd be a little bit more motivated to make it work. But I think a lot of it honestly comes down to laziness and just not wanting to do the extra work or learn something new. So interesting. So what is that? I got 2 offers going out so far. And then that one with the FHA problem. I think I might have had some agents call me back. Let's present a written offer, and that way you know for sure if when any other buyers present this type of offer, you know exactly how it works and what the sellers think. Yeah, exactly. So, I mentioned at the beginning, I would like to say that way your sellers can make an educated decision. And like I could tell that her tone kind of changed and she wasn't really interested in talking about this. Her tone lowered and you could just tell she kind of like went inward, not really caring to have this conversation. But it's kind of hard to say, oh no, my clients don't want to make an educated decision. I don't think any agent would say that. So, okay. I thought agents called me back, but maybe not. Okay. Well, guys, does anyone have any questions, any feedback? Is there anything you guys would like to see more of on here? I would really love some feedback on, anything I can do better, anything I can add, any way I can provide value. If you guys need help with deals, I'll put this deals link in the chat. We'd love to help you underwrite, send an offer, talk to the agent or seller, get some deals done. Dana, next week so for anyone that doesn't know, 1 week I'll make live calls, the next week, same time, I interview someone and just keep rotating that in and out, making calls and interviewing someone. Obviously all the interviews are real estate based and related. Dana, I think you would be interesting to have on the podcast, and maybe I can chat with you afterwards. But all right, guys, thank you so much. If you need any help, please reach out, DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is always on the name right here. I am trying to be quick to respond. And until then, I will see you guys next week.